In August 2019, the Business Roundtable, a group of 181 CEOs who run the biggest corporations in the world, made a surprise public pronouncement. The purpose of a corporation, they said, is to serve all stakeholders, customers, employees, suppliers, communities, and shareholders. That declaration caught the attention of everyone, because for the past 30 years, CEOs have preached the Gordon Gekko gospel that greed is good. The doctrine of shareholder first ruled the boardroom. According to this doctrine, maximizing share value was the only goal that mattered. Was their statement virtual signaling, woke-washing, or was it an honest admission that corporations have to play a more responsible role in society? Is this the dawn of a new, more conscious form of capitalism, or are these just soothing words to pacify a population resentful of the wealth disparity in this new Gilded Age? So if the role of a business is to create value for all people, not just shareholders, a brand has to stand for something more than just the products it sells. And that means marketing, after half a century of getting people to buy stuff, responsible for shaping consumer society as we know it, has to deprogram itself. Marketing must turn the page on history. Every brand now needs to explain how they make the world a better place. Keep in mind, people could care less if the majority of brands disappeared tomorrow. But people do want to buy from brands whose values they share, in the same way they relate to people they like, which is exactly why the idea of brand purpose has gained so much traction of late. People need to know why the brand exists. Start with why has become a war cry for many brand marketers. Countless studies have shown that companies with a strong brand purpose, who are brave enough to take a stand or start a movement or promote a cause, outperform those that don't. But that takes a top-down commitment to doing what's right by customers and what's right by society at large. Consider Nike's Kaepernick campaign. Sure, it set off a brief public outcry and boycott amongst affronted patriots, but as Nike co-founder Phil Knight said, it doesn't matter how many people hate your brand, as long as enough people love it. The Nike brand earns love by inspiring people to realize their full potential. That positioning endears them to young, hip, progressive urbanites who make up its core audience. Only months after the short-lived boycott, Nike shares climbed to an all-time high. The lesson? To stand out, a brand must stand for something, even if it invites controversy. However, here's the risk. The equity markets reward growth, not virtue. So, CMOs must walk a tightrope. On the one hand, they have to lead the business in new directions. On the other, they have to prove they're making a contribution to short-term growth and profits. Lean too far one way or the other, and the fall is usually fatal. Now consider the biggest ad spender of all, the company that invented the concept of brand management back in 1931. P&G spent an estimated $10 billion on advertising and other marketing costs in 2019. Today, P&G is under siege from direct-to-consumer brands stealing share from them. That's because today's fickle consumers aren't afraid to try brands they're unfamiliar with. Here's what Mark Pritchard, the chief brand officer for Procter & Gamble, had to say, speaking at Cannes in June 2017.
We are in the midst of mass disruption. It's mass because we're disrupting mass marketing as we know it, and it's mass because it's on a mass scale. And what that requires is the best way to deal with mass disruption is to lead disruption. And we're reinventing marketing as we know it. We're reinventing media from mass blast to mass one-to-one precision. We're reinventing advertising from less push to more pull. And we're reinventing how we work with agencies from less outsourcing to more of our people's hands on the keyboard. So big disruption, and it's a very exciting time to be in marketing.
P&G is reinventing marketing because the era of digital marketing is over, Pritchard believes. This new transition to one-to-one marketing is going to be a big shift. A big shift because no one, not even P&G, has figured out what a next-generation planning model looks like. Even today, marketing textbooks still reflect the make and sell era, an era when big ad agencies ruled over the marketing budget, spending much of it on mass advertising. In those early years, marketing was the ad buying department, the pretty picture department. TV and print ads kept the production lines going. But that era of mass marketing has faded into history. Today, we're on the brink of an ad-free, omni-channel world. Marketing has been marginalized. It's lost its way. The age of the customer is here. Customer goodwill is now the only protection brands have against the threat of disruption. What that means for brands is making a big shift from an inside-out view of the world, where the customer is merely a target to be chased, to an outside-in view of the world, where the customer is viewed as a partner in success. Disruption is the result of a big shift between buyer and seller. The new empowered customer, according to Forrester Research, is characterized by a willingness to experiment, new media, new products, an interest in the richest possible experience, using multiple devices to research, buy, and interact with brands, relying on what other people say before buying, an expectation of seamless interactions across touchpoints. Technology has changed people, not just how they buy, but how they interact. Anything is now possible in their view. But companies struggle to move at the speed of their customers. And so the gap between customer expectations and the ability of businesses to offer a quality experience keeps growing. The problem, of course, is that business is forced to move at the speed of IT. But IT is just a scapegoat. Most companies aren't organized to put customer needs first. Too many barriers stand in the way of progress, legacy systems, business models that are relics of a bygone era, an aversion to risk. And there are no quick fixes. Businesses have to learn to play the long game, but they're held hostage to short-term thinking. Here's the other challenge for brands. Today we live in a world of practically zero trust. Most people no longer believe companies will do the right thing. To earn back that trust, a brand has to be genuine. It has to make life easier for people. It has to deliver a quality experience. And it has to share the values of the people it serves. What all the great brands have in common is they've earned the trust of their customers. The new battleground for customers today is no longer zero-defect products, or having the best price, or even the best customer satisfaction score. Today, loyalty is earned based on the quality of the customer experience. Equally important, whether customers believe you put their needs first. Customers want more than just a reason to believe a brand. They want a reason to believe in the brand. The challenge in meeting customer expectations is that the goal line keeps moving, thanks to companies like Amazon. Doing business with Amazon is easy, convenient, transparent. That's why Amazon has become this commercial leviathan, disrupting the entire retail industry. How? By putting the customer first. Jeff Bezos may be viewed by his enemies as Lex Luthor, but he's forced the entire retail business to follow his lead. Today, it's harder than ever for brands to get noticed. People are distracted. Their attention spans have withered. They have no time for brands that waste their time. So, most brand content is invisible, lost in the clutter. To have any chance of being noticed, marketers have to find a way to make the brand story impossible to ignore. The brands that do stand out today, the so-called firms of endearment, are the ones that have a more aspirational ambition than maximizing sales. Those are the brands whose loss people would mourn, the ones that make a difference in some meaningful way. But unfortunately, not many brands qualify. According to the Reputation Institute, the brand that enjoys the highest regard of Canadians is Cirque du Soleil, the only company deserving of an excellence grade. This is a company that consistently mesmerizes people with its creativity. It is driven to be constantly better. And that's what this guy, Seth Godin, believes should be the operating principle of marketing, to make the company better, to be agents of change. He says marketing is change. Marketers make change happen. He believes marketing has only one purpose: to solve problems in the service of the customer. The father of modern marketing, Phil Kotler, says that marketing is all about creating value for customers, and that marketing's job is to make the brand integral to their lives, resulting in deep customer relationships. Kotler, who made his mark in 1967 with the publication of his seminal book, Marketing Management, argues for a socially responsible approach to marketing where the focus is on creating a better world, what he calls the 4 W's: wealth, wellness, well-being, wisdom. The job of marketing, he says, is to link the needs of society with the commercial needs of the business. Marketing's job today is to sell materialism and consumption. Tomorrow's marketing will be markedly different. Originally, the role of modern marketing was driving market demand, largely through brand advertising, an era known as the Age of Persuasion. Over time, brand messaging became more segmented and targeted with the rise of addressable media. As the number of media channels proliferated, the job of marketing shifted to channel integration. However, in the age of the customer, when ad avoidance is the norm, the anywhere, anytime customer is more elusive than ever. In the early 1980s, the term relationship marketing quietly slipped into the business lexicon. The main idea, heretical at the time, is that retaining and expanding an existing customer relationship is more profitable than trying to start a new one. Eventually, the principles championed by the leading relationship marketing proponents began to resonate with the broader marketing community, who were struggling with audience demassification. Their ideas have since become the bedrock of a new marketing model, just now beginning to coalesce around the concept of customer-first thinking. The great brands today are all customer-obsessed. Those brands use technology to create value. They lead with insights. They differentiate through digital. And they excel at putting customers first. So how do brands emulate their success? Certainly not through old-school marketing methods. Forrester research says, despite the drumbeat of inexorable change, marketing planning remains stubbornly old-school. Most approaches to planning were created in and for a different age. They linger as a vestige of TV and paid media. So if the classical marketing model is dead, what replaces it? No one has a patented claim to a new model. No one has dreamed up the magical formula for marketing success, but there is an emerging consensus forming around the main elements of this new model. What you're looking at here is KOTLER'S marketing process model. You'll notice that it pivots primarily around the goal of relationship building with chosen customers. And pay attention to the goals. Create satisfied, loyal customers, increase share of market and share of customer. The challenge? How do marketers organize around it, operationalize it? If the old marketing model was all about guiding customers through the sales funnel, the new one must address the entire customer journey, especially what happens after the sale, because relationships are won or lost based on the degree of recognition and caring customers receive. The old marketing model was channel-based, above the line and below the line. The new model has no lines. Attention is still paid to demand generation, but not disproportionate attention. Investments are made in the customer relationship over time, in staying connected, in delivering continuous value, in managing the growing community of brand advocates, in collaborating with channel partners to enhance the value proposition. And all of that revolves around a unifying brand purpose, a reason why the brand exists. The old marketing model created a brand identity and position that tried to be unique, an onlyness statement built around how the brand is truly different. The new model focuses on how the brand can make a difference in the lives of people, why it exists, At the heart of that brand story is not simply a slogan or a tagline, but a heartfelt sentiment, a brand credo, along with a brand narrative that explains the genesis of the brand and why it matters to the world at large. The old marketing model never considered what happens after the sale. Yet Amazon would never have succeeded if Jeff Bezos treated his first orders as orders. He was creating lifetime customers, and that was his vision from the beginning. But getting the experience right when customers have infinite options is hard work. It takes a commitment to eliminate the pain points, to redefine processes, to empathize with customers, to understand how they think and feel each step of the journey. It takes attention to detail and a willingness to get rid of operational barriers. That job belongs to marketing, not customer service, because marketing should be in charge of the relationship from beginning to end. Companies can't get there overnight. It takes a commitment to change, to go from the familiar make and sell model to a new model where marketing is a service. To get there, companies need new systems, new processes, new thinking. How fast does it need to move? What are the game-changing priorities? How entrenched are current practices? Is there top-down endorsement? The most advanced state, contextual, in-the-moment interactions across channels. In short, a unified experience. The coming era will see more business change than the last 3 decades combined. Game-changing technologies like AI, IoT, 5G, and blockchain will make commercial business unrecognizable, what's been called the fourth industrial revolution. Old business models will simply vanish, victims of the platform economy. To adapt and thrive in this world of constant, relentless change, marketers need to be closer than ever to customers. And that means one thing: putting the needs of customers first.